Alright everybody, we're back, and if you're broke on Orokin Cells, this is the video that you're going to need to watch. We're getting right into it. Let's get it. First thing that you're going to need to get is some resource boosters, and this isn't necessary, but it does make all of this a whole lot more enjoyable to do. So, watch the Orokin Vault farming guide that I have. If you need platinum to buy this stuff, you get it very quickly, but you're going to want the resource booster, which doubles the amount, so you're going to want that. And you're also going to want the drop chance booster, which doubles the chance of it dropping. Need that also. You can also get these boosters from your login rewards, or you can get blessed from people at relays. And the thing about this is they all stack on top of each other. And there's also mission rewards as well, which we'll get into later. But all of these boosters stack. So ideally you want as many of these stacked as possible. There's a couple missions for Orokin Cells that we can do. We're going to start it off from the easiest, and then we're going to work our way up to the harder ones. So if you're a new player, this is going to be the one that you're going to want to run. To get started, you're going to want probably your Rhino. If you don't have a Rhino, watch my video on how to get it. It's great Warframe for early game. It's going to be very useful for this. You're going to get Rhino, and you're going to need a pretty strong weapon. Again, because this is more for early game players, something like the Boltor or the Hex would work perfectly. I'm going to use the Corinth. And Rhino makes this a lot easier though. Once you have that loadout selected, you're going to make your way over to Saturn, and you're going to go to Tythes, which I believe is how you pronounce it. And it's General Sargus Ruck. You can either do this in public if you're not very confident in yourself, or you can do solo. Solo will probably make it a little bit faster for you, and you should be able to complete the missions faster, and therefore you get more Orokin Cells per hour. Alright, so here we are at Sargus Ruck, and we're going to make this really easily. You're going to notice different parts of his body are going to light up blue, and those are what we're going to shoot to kill him. So now it's his arm, bang, we just gotta wait for that to come up again. And the reason we're using Rhino is because of the iron skin. He doesn't knock us over, and it makes this very, very simple. There you go, you see it switched up, now it's on his stomach, and it's going to pop up on his back, and we'll destroy that, and then you'll be dead. You see it on his back now, and his back should pop probably one more time here, I think. Oh, I guess we got one more in us. And boom, 2 Orokin Cells. That would normally be 1 if you don't have any boosters on, but since we have boosters, that's 2. And we're just gonna run to the extraction. So you'll see there in 2 minutes, 17 seconds, we got 2 Orokin Cells. And that's not bad at all. That mission could have been done faster, for sure. I was messing up on spots, tripping and falling, running to and from the mission site. But that's a great Orokin Cell farm for early game, and even late game, it's not too shabby. Without the resource boosters on, it's about 50-50 that you're going to get 1 Orokin Cell from him. But with the resource boosters, you pretty much are going to get 2 every single time. So that's mission number 1. That's Tythes on Saturn. And now we're going to get into the more what I would consider to be preferred methods of farming for me. Personally, I don't like bouncing in and out of missions on repeat, which is why I'm not the biggest fan of Tythes or whatever it's called. For the next set of missions, you're going to want one of these 3 Warframes. You're either going to want Necros for his Desecrate, or you're going to want Hydroid with Pilfering Swarm, or Cora with her Pilfering Strangledome Augment. These frames are going to make the resource drops boost even more on top of your boosters that you already have. Once you have your frame set up, you have a couple options for missions here. If you want something a little on the easier side, you can come over to Ceres and you can go for Semini or Gabby. Both of these are good missions. I do prefer Semini, the defense missions, if you have a team to run them with. It makes it pretty easy. If you plan on doing it solo, I would go with a survival mission. Both of these are good. You see, you do get the extra resource drop chances because they're dark sector missions. But let's just say you don't want to look for a team, whatever. I usually come on over to Helene on Saturn. So this mission's so ideal because if you have a Necros with a Desecrate, it's very easy to cover the entire map from the middle here. So we'll run a little bit of this and I'll show you the results of that. We just got to the end of a nice little Helene defense. And yeah, 11 minutes, 30 Orokin Cells. That was on Steel Path. If you don't have Steel Path, obviously it's going to be a little different there. 9 waves, could be faster. And that's really what you're looking at. It's a pretty top tier farm. Survivals can be a little bit better, but that's all depends on a couple of things. I just wanted to add in this mission right here, Piscinas. Wow, that was horrible. But this mission right here has a 20% resource drop chance. This is a great survival mission for Orokin Cells, but you want to have a squad with you because the map is so big that if you only have one Necros, you're not going to be able to cover everything dying. Unless you have a group, then you can stay in one little area. But I would do this if you have a 4-man, and it would be a little bit better than Helene. But if you're running it solo by yourself, then I'd just stick with Helene. But this is another great mission for Orokin Cells. So that wasn't a terrible run from Piscinas, whatever the fuck it is. That's 14 cells, 17 minutes, and it can go better. That was without a Necros, without a full squad. The last way, and this isn't necessarily farming, this is more of like passively getting Orokin Cells, would be to get yourself some extractors. Distilling is better, but if you're not that high of a level yet, or you don't have the materials to build it, the Titan will work just fine. Once you have those and you have them built, you can come over to planets such as Saturn that drop Orokin Cells, and instead of retrieve here, you'll be able to deploy your extractor. Now if you're looking for Orokin Cells, which obviously if you're watching this guide you are, you're going to want to put your extractors on Saturn, Ceres, and Deimos. All 3 of these have the option of dropping Orokin Cells for you. If you don't get Orokin Cells, you're going to get one of these other resources. But if you use the distilling, it makes it a higher chance that you will get Orokin Cells. Now, I don't believe that these are affected by your resource boosters at all. But this is a very easy way. Throw them down. I believe it's 12 hours. I actually could be wrong about that. It could even be less. If I am wrong, throw it right here. But this is a very good way to get any kind of resource that you need passively. For Orokin Cells though, which is where I always keep mine, is Saturn, Ceres, Deimos. So we're here at Deimos, checking out the collector. And 4 Orokin Cells right there. That's not too bad. And we're just going to redeploy right there. Alright everybody, I hope you enjoyed that. Those are what I consider to be the most tried and true methods to getting Orokin Cells quickly and easily. Again, the preferred method for me is Helene on Saturn. I go in there with 4 friends, and the game plan is to hold it down for like an hour, 2 hours, whatever. You want to stay for a long time, because in the beginning missions, at least up until wave about 18, you're not going to be seeing that many drops. But as time goes on, you're going to see more and more coming. So that's the preferred method. Tethys is also a great mission to run. Again, it depends. If you have long load times, then you're not going to want to do that mission, because that involves jumping in and out extremely quickly and also having the gear to be able to do it efficiently. For the honorable mentions, you have Ceres, Dark Sector missions, Gabby, and Semini. Not bad missions to do if you're low level. They're not even bad missions to do if you're high level, as long as you have a squad. That goes with the same thing as Helene on Saturn. The only reason why I really prefer Helene on Saturn is because the map is a little bit smaller, and that just makes it a little bit easier for your Desecrate and all of that stuff to maximize the effectiveness. You know, your Desecrate will basically span the entire map if you have a good Necros, and that's why I prefer Helene on Saturn. Just to wrap up again, the frames that you're going to want to be using are Necros, Hydroid, Korra, some kind of random DPS to really punch home the damage. Fantastic. If you don't have Necros or Hydroid, you don't know how to get them, I have a video, top 5 early game Warframes. That's a video you're going to want to watch. In there, I show you how to get Necros and Hydroid, where to find the parts, how to get them, how to run the missions, and all of that. So, with that being said, that's going to wrap up this Orokin cell farming tutorial here. I hope you guys have a bunch of Orokin cells now and can build everything you've ever wanted. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.